Good afternoon. We're live. Anita Dawn at Sail Pilates. How are you today? Yeah, sorry about the cardio this morning. Yeah, one of my switches wasn't turned on. I will do it later, but I don't have time at the moment. It might not be till this evening, okay? So one of the things I said is how important it is that when you're doing the strength training 10 minutes, you need to do every one from the week, because that will create a balanced workout. Yeah, we're not doing a balanced workout in 10 minutes. It's not possible. And sometimes muscles come in pairs. For example, biceps and triceps. So if you work the biceps, you need to work the triceps. If you work the core, you need to work the back muscles as well. So it's really important that you do, if you're going to do it, or you could just be watching and educate yourself more about the muscles and the exercises. All right, so today we are doing the back, and we're doing this week, everything is on the floor. I'd rather do things standing because it's more functional when you do it standing, but some exercises, for example, the back, unless you use a door anchor, which I'm going to use next week, I'll be doing a little introduction to that so you can see more about it, see whether you want to invest your money. It's only going to cost you like £10 to set yourself up with an anchor and one of these bands. About that. Okay, if they're still available. If they're not, I have some. You can get them from me. So it's 12:30. We're going to do a little bit of a warm up here for the spine, and we're going to be lying on the floor on our tummies. It won't bother your knees. Don't worry about that. There might be an exercise that we're doing when you're on your knees. We'll see how the time goes. But you don't have to. You can repeat the first exercise, okay? But just like before, we're going to do a little bit of a warm up there. Feet hip distance apart. So we're going to inhale. We're going to have a nice stretch. Make sure your tailbone's lengthened so you're not arching the back. And then you come down and you're going to round your spine, tuck your bottom under. Inhale. You roll up through neutral into extension. Make sure you don't feel it in the lower back. I said arms are a little bit apart there. And then you're going to bend those knees, come into flexion. Inhale. So go really slowly, small range if your lower back bothers you. Otherwise, we can go into a little bit of what we call a pulse raiser. A little bit of a ski movement here. Make sure you're using your abdominals all the way through, even if you stretch there, just to protect the spine in movement. Brilliant there. Let's do 4 more. Exhale, inhale as we stretch up. And last 2. And last 1. And always stay with that extension. All right, so we're going to come down. We're doing what I call, this is Pilates. We do it in Pilates, but it's also a mainstream back exercise. But as I say, often we use more equipment that the general average person doesn't have. So we're going to use gravity, but it's a small range of movement. So we're going to work the thoracic spine. We're going to work it in extension. And this will help prevent back problems or fix your back problems. We get very tight in the thoracic spine, and then you get that torque, that pressure on the lower back. So we're going to have the arms in what we call a capital W, like that. And maybe if you've got a mat, the forearms are off to the side. So I want you to engage your abdominals and tuck your bottom slightly to stabilize the spine, the lumbar spine, and the pelvis. So we're going to pull the shoulders away from the ears, and you're going to brush the floor with the nose, not literally, just like you're brushing it just a little bit. And then you're going to stretch your neck long as you lift the head, neck, and shoulders. God, I hope I have volume on this. Okay, so the elbows might come a little bit off the floor. I keep the bottom rib on the floor, guys. If you feel it in your lower back, don't come up so high. And then I'm coming back down to my neutral position. Inhale, pull the shoulders back. A little bit of abs drawing away from the floor. And I'm just squeezing my sit bones a little bit just to stabilize the pelvis and stop me going into my lower back. So maybe you're just lifting a little bit. If you have kyphosis, then you're not going to go very high. If you're rounded, kyphosis is where your back is rounded like this, then you're not going to get extension. You're just looking at straightening the back out. Yes, you're just drawing the shoulder blades together slightly. So this might be where you're going to be instead of getting into that extension. I don't have a lot of extension. I work on it a lot during the week. And then coming back down. 4 count breath, guys. Inhale, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, brush the floor with the nose. And then on your exhale, you're coming up. Inhale, stay. It's like you're pulling the floor towards you, pushing your breastbone forward in between the shoulders. Lengthen the lumbar spine. Feel that in your back and coming back down. If you feel it stretching in the chest, you definitely need to be stretching out your chest more. It means that you're getting too much forward flexion. A lot of people do in our lifestyle. Very important to stretch out the front of the body. So if you're using this as a stretch, and eventually, hopefully, you'll work into the back. Last time, inhale. So how many would we do? Maybe 5, yeah? It's not about quantity, it's about quality, guys. Yeah? All right. And then we're going to come back down. This time, we're going to work in neutral. That means your normal upright posture, but here you just tipped yourself over on the floor onto the tummies, yeah? So it is... I didn't warn you, but it's nice to have maybe a book under the forehead here so that you rest your head down. This is a booty band. It works quite well. So you rest your head and you can still breathe. So we're going to have the arms down by the side. All right. Reaching the fingers away, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Hope you can hear me okay. Yeah. Engage your abs slightly and your glutes ever so slightly. The first thing we're going to do is float the arms off the floor. You're going to rotate the palms into the body. Squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit. Now just float the head off the floor. Yeah, engage your abs just a little bit there. A little bit of sit bones engaged. Reach the fingers to the toes. And then gently relax down. So that might be enough for you if you're not used to it. Yeah, so we stretch the arms long. We float them up. Rotate them in. So we just... retract the shoulder blades slightly, and before you lift the head, engage your abs and your glutes just to protect the lower back there. And maybe so stretch your legs and the knees might come off the floor. Now make sure your feet are heavy on the mat. If the feet want to lift up, it means you've got no connection in your glutes, your abs. You have to draw your belly button away from the floor, tuck your bottom under and reach away from the crown of the head to the toes. And then gently relax the legs, the head and the arms, everything gently, but little by little. Okay, really nice exercise. So reach the arms long, float, rotate, squeeze. Abs and glutes, head, still looking at the floor. Yeah, and then stretch your way down through to the toes. So really tightening the thighs, knees might come off the floor. Every muscle's connected. If you want to work your jaw as well, you can talk to yourself or sing. And working all the muscles in the posterior chain and have a rest. Okay, so or you could that's what we call that's the easy one. The first one was breaststroke prep 1 where we did the extension. That one was breaststroke prep 2. Breaststroke prep 3 is a lot harder. So make sure you've done that one I've just done there for a couple of weeks. And then we're lifting more weight, we're overloading the back more. Yeah, so I need to engage my abs a lot more, belly button to spine, and just squeeze my sit bones. So I'm lengthening through the lumbar spine. I glue, let's have the left hand on top of the right hand, and the hands are glued to the forehead. But let's keep the right arm on the floor. And as you float your head, take that left arm, elbow off the floor, just float, just hover off the floor. And see how hard, that's a little harder, isn't it? You should be feeling that middle upper back of the shoulders there. So either just do the one arm, change arms each time, or both arms. So it's a lot harder to do both arms. And then floating up, and we're engaging everything. Tight abdominals, glutes, shoulders pulling down away from the ears, elbows out to the side. Really nice exercise, but build up to it, guys. Don't suddenly go for breaststroke prep 3 if you haven't done 1 and 2 at all. Yeah, for a couple of weeks. And then we stretch out. A couple of ways out to stretch there. So we want to come up onto the elbows first. Now lift the hips first, yeah, and then walk back. Okay, because if you don't lift the hips first, if you go like this, a lot of people go like that, you're hyperextending through the lower back, and over time you're going to sustain a lower back injury. So we just walk ourselves back. All right, so this is a shell stretch. So it's an active stretch. You're tucking your bottom under, you're pulling in the tummy there. Beautiful. Okay, we got time for one more exercise. It's from the knees. If you don't like kneeling, you could repeat one of the previous exercises. Yeah, we didn't do a lot of repetitions. Always nice to do 2 sets. This is called this is called swimming. So I'm coming up onto all fours. I stabilize my spine. All right, ribs are closed, abs engaged, and I'm going to slide my left foot away and my right arm away. And then I'm going to change. Inhale. We want to stabilize the spine, so it's also very much a core exercise. And then maybe your goal is to lift, but make sure you're not lifting that right hip off the floor or the shoulder. Keep your shoulders parallel to the floor and then gently come down. So what we're looking for here is that length, reaching the hand away from the toes, but make sure that you're not arching your lower back. And then that's a really nice exercise as well for the back. Okay, so let's finish up by just loosening out through the spine. Always mobilize after doing something like that, after strength training. All right, guys, got any questions, pop them in the comments. Yeah, always let me know if you're there with me. It always helps if I'm actually teaching to a real person instead of teaching to myself. Let's take a nice inhale. Lots of positivity and no negativity out the window. And thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me today. So do look out for the cardio. It was a really good one that I did this morning. And I had a little bit of a spiel I did before, just about saying that, the minimum you want to do on exercise is those 3 sessions a day. It's minimum, yeah? So it's just 30 minutes a day. And that is your minimum. Okay, we need the cardio, 10 minutes of cardio. That's all you're getting. That's minimum. Ideally, you want 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Yeah, and then the strength training. So do it every day, or at least if you don't do it every day. So we do 7 in a week. So maybe split them up 3 days every other day. Just do a couple of them. Yeah, but it's important that you do cover every session of the strength training so you get muscle balance. Yeah, and then the mobility is really important, because if you don't mobilize, if you don't stretch out and you just do strength training, you're going to get very tight around the joints. Yeah, so that's why stretching is really important. Also, the fascia that runs through the body from the fingertips and the top of the head down to the toes, it likes to be stretched out as well. All right, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it and you felt a little bit of work there down through the back. Very, very functional, good for posture and good to reduce or prevent back pain. I'll see you at 5:30 for mobility. I can't quite remember what we're doing today. It might be a little bit more on the spine, yes. So you won't need any equipment. So I will see you later. Thanks for joining me and have a great afternoon.